Rollins definitely did not provide the long parts, but Ben then replied by saying like, "But we know for sure that Roman provided the bottom part." And we figured that the tag team combination of Adrian Neville and Jack Gallagher would be the Neville Longfellows. Oh man, we came up with so many ideas about them just teaming up. Like Neville would be like the serious guy, and Jack Gallagher would be like the kind of sentimental guy, where he would just be like, "Oh, just to warn you, he's about to drop kick you." Neville hits a drop kick, and he's like, "I did warn you that it was going to happen." So that would actually be pretty funny. I would actually pay to see that. We get it into a New Day segment with them again promoting the fact that they are the host of WrestleMania, but also that they had an ice cream truck. Not ice cream truck, one of those like ice cream carts where it's box shaped and it had a little bicycle on there. It was weird. This was one of those moments where we thought, oh, we're finally going to get the ice cream bars. Nope, we're not getting the ice cream bars yet. We're getting a preview of what the ice cream bars could be like. And Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, they were pretty normal. What the fuck was going on with Big E Langston? I mean, he was quoting a lot of different random songs, like Randy Orton's theme song popped into his head, saying, "I hear voices," and blah, blah, blah. And then he went on to sing, like, "I've had a dream," or something like that. And he just really seemed very out of it. He was kind of like stroking Kofi and Xavier Woods' hair and faces, and then it seemed like he was just dry humping the ice cream cart. It was just a weird segment. It was one of those things where it's like, okay, they're promoting the New Day again, but this time just made it seem like, Big E was on something more than what I guess Jeff Hardy was on during the 2011 Victory Road event that he had with Sting. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, go look it up, because that was probably one of the saddest moments in wrestling history. Thankfully, Jeff Hardy has finally cleaned up his act, and he is doing a lot better since then. But this was kind of one of those things where I looked at Big E and I'm thinking, wow, I have not seen anything this bad since Victory Road 2011. Just was horrible. Okay, so we go on to one of the main events, that being Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman. A really good matchup. It really was very well done. It made Braun Strowman look like he was still a beast. He was just throwing Roman Reigns down for the first part. There was even a spot where he did a Samoan drop to Roman Reigns, and he just sat up, and he was just smiling and laughing. And immediately I thought, oh my god, he kind of reminds me of the whole Brock Lesnar-John Cena thing at SummerSlam, where Brock just sits up and he just starts laughing and smiling. And Braun did that same deal. I'm like, oh wow, I was not expecting that. Braun Strowman hit a power slam to Roman Reigns through the announce table, which was a really cool spot. But it did seem like Braun Strowman hurt his leg a little earlier on in the matchup, where he was going to do like a running boot in the corner to Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns got out of the way. Braun Strowman hit the top of the ropes and kind of rolled out of the ring. It was a pretty decent spot, but it actually looks like Braun Strowman hurt himself. So the match ended with Roman Reigns hitting his first spear for a 2 count. He hit multiple Superman punches. Seemed like he was going to go for a second spear, but boom, Braun Strowman said no. Eventually, Braun Strowman would get hit with a second spear by Roman Reigns for the 1, 2, 3. And Braun Strowman is no longer undefeated in singles competition, ending his reign of, I guess you could say, I wouldn't say reign of terror, but his reign of awesomeness, I would actually say. At about 1 year, and let's see, he debuted, I think it was in September, if I'm not mistaken. So September, October, November, December, January, February. A year and 5 months where he did not go pinned or submitted. That's still very impressive, though. The fact that they kept him undefeated for that long. And he is still going to be a big deal, because this matchup only made his stock go up. Despite the fact that I hate the fact that Roman Reigns went over. If anybody should have went over, it should have been Braun Strowman. It should have been him. But I guess they needed Roman Reigns to get some momentum going against The Undertaker at WrestleMania, which really doesn't make sense. They should have had Roman Reigns lose. That way it's kind of kind of one of those things where people still have the doubts of, I don't think Roman Reigns is going to win. That would have made more sense, in my opinion. But Roman Reigns wins. He's got momentum going into WrestleMania. Probably more than likely going to face off against The Undertaker. I'm looking forward to that matchup, in all honesty. I'm hoping Roman wins, just so that they can do like a whole pass the torch deal between Roman and Taker. But I doubt that's going to happen. We'll just wait and see. And I'm hoping that Roman Reigns turns heel. Side note. Oh, man. And then we go on to what I think was probably the second best match of the night. That being Bayley defending her women's championship against Charlotte. Now, it would have probably been best matchup of the night, but I will explain why in just a bit. The matchup started off very good. It was basic wrestling, mat wrestling deals between the two of them, and they really kind of did some pretty cool spots, like Bayley hitting a Hurricane Rana from on the outside, Charlotte doing natural selection, Charlotte just really looking good. I want to also say, as kind of a side note, that there's a lot of people out there, wrestling fans included, who have said that Charlotte looks like a man. Well, I guess you could. Ben said it best, and I will agree with him. It's like if Ben is a man, if Charlotte is a man, then I must be gay. I agree, because Charlotte is still a very beautiful woman, and if people say that she's a man, fine. If she looks like a man, then I must be gay too. So, moving on from that, the matchup itself, again, was pretty well-paced. Charlotte got quite a bit of offense. Bayley also got some offense as well. There was one spot, though, that looked really weird, where I think Bayley was trying to do like this spot where she has Charlotte in the Tree of Woe, and she's supposed to do like an elbow drop to Charlotte in the corner, but that didn't work out. It looked very sloppy. It looked like she hit Charlotte's arm more than anything. Then Bayley hits a top rope elbow drop, which looked really good. We see Charlotte toss Bayley on the outside. This is where things got really, really out of hand. Because here's what happened. Charlotte and Sasha got into a brawl. Sasha came out, she started attacking Charlotte, and immediately Wrestling 101 says that it should have been called as a disqualification. That should have been what should have happened. It did not. Instead, Charlotte beats down on Sasha. Bayley hits Bayley to belly on Charlotte. And we see the ending closing match spots where Charlotte tries to get a win with the tights, but it didn't work because Sasha says, nope, there's something there. There's something there. Then we see Bayley hit the Bayley to belly for the 1-2-3. Sasha's wins at pay-per-views of 16 stops. It stops at 16-1. Why? This was one of those things where I was predicting, as well as a lot of people were predicting, that Charlotte was going to go over. And honestly, I think that would have made better sense of having Charlotte go over than Bayley. Because right now, the moment was wasted with Bayley on Raw. Because a lot of people are saying, well, now we have to make Bayley look like a top babyface and blah, blah, blah. That should have waited until after WrestleMania, because then she could have had a couple of matches under her belt, and at least the pay-per-view streak would have ended at WrestleMania. That would have probably made more sense. But that didn't happen. Why? I don't know. It just... Because now here's the thing. Charlotte's going to come out the following night on Raw, and she's going to complain about how she could have won, but it took two people to basically beat her, so it's not fair, and blah, blah, blah. This should be extracted from the record books, and blah, blah, blah. Everything like that. So it's going to be very interesting to see what kind of BS they come up with this. Good luck, Raw, because you just made Bayley's win tonight, again, look like such bullcocky. It was such caca. I was more upset than anything with that. If Bayley would have won and clean, that would have been fine. But the fact that they had Sasha get involved again, for what reason? What reason? They're making her seem like a heel. What reason? There is no reason for it. There isn't. It just made no sense. Why does wrestling frown when it comes to WWE? And why must WWE piss off the gods of wrestling? God. Great, now we got to go into the main event, which was the most BS and most convoluted, controversial, the stupidest main event that I could have possibly seen. This was the worst way that you could have possibly ended a Fastlane event. So what happened? Kevin Owens basically left the ring, and the match didn't even start. He just says, nope, I'm just going to keep getting Goldberg mad. I'm just going to keep getting Goldberg mad. I'm just going to keep the my games going. Finally, Kevin Owens said, let's go, let's go, let's go. Then we hear Chris Jericho's music hits. Kevin Owens gets distracted. Kevin Owens turns into a spear, gets nailed with a jackhammer. 1, 2, 3. 20 seconds. 20 seconds, and that was all it took to take all the work that Kevin Owens had put to make that title prestigious and bury it into the ground 6 feet, 600 feet, 6 feet, into the center of the earth. It took 20 seconds to take everything that Kevin Owens put into that title and just destroy it. Now we got Goldberg as the Universal Champion, because Vince McMahon has an orgasm every single time that there is money involved. Because every single time that there's big bucks, that there's an opportunity to make big bucks, Vince McMahon's going to go for it. So now we get the Universal Championship matchup, Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. You know what's going to happen? Brock Lesnar is going to beat Goldberg. And then what's going to happen then? Brock Lesnar will probably leave for 6 months, barely defending the title, because apparently that's just the deal that WWE wants to make with him. And what's that going to mean for the Universal title? It's going to be, again, a dumpster fire title. It's not going to make any sense. Unless you have Brock Lesnar lose the title immediately after Monday Night Raw, after WrestleMania, there is no way that you can make that title any prestigious. There's no prestige to it involved. The WWE title is prestigious on SmackDown, and still is. Even while Dean Ambrose was the champion, he still made it prestigious. The matchup with Dolph Ziggler and Dean Ambrose at SummerSlam, yeah, it was bad, but at least it was defended to the best of their ability. AJ Styles versus Dean Ambrose happened again and again and again and again, but they still found a way to keep it prestigious. They still kept the matches interesting, at least. John Cena versus AJ Styles was hands down probably the match of the year at Royal Rumble. And then what did you have? You had a great Elimination Chamber matchup where you had now champion Bray Wyatt beat John Cena and AJ Styles in a matter of 72 hours twice. That title on SmackDown is so prestigious right now. It is indeed still the highest title in that company. But you, Raw, decided we're not going to do that kind of deal. We're going to have the title be put on a part-timer, and then we're going to have it be put on another part-timer. Because somehow that's going to make that title so much more worthwhile. It makes no fucking sense to have Goldberg win tonight. I understand that he probably wanted it so that he can have his wife and his kid see him win the title, win the big one more time. But the thing is, he was only going to be there for a short period of time. He was only going to be there from Survivor Series until WrestleMania. I would still take The Rock being the champion, because at least he was there defending the title. He had 2 great matches with CM Punk, and then he, of course, had that horrible match with John Cena at WrestleMania 29. But at least he was still doing something. He still took the time to be there. It was only for a short period of time, but at least it served a purpose. It served a purpose. This does not serve any kind of fucking purpose. Having Goldberg win the title was the stupidest thing that Raw could have done. They should have just had maybe Kevin Owens win by a DQ or retain by a DQ. Have Brock Lesnar come out and interfere and cost Goldberg the matchup, because it makes the most sense. Because why? Goldberg has cost Brock Lesnar 2 matches. He beat him in a matter of a minute at Survivor Series. He eliminated him from the Royal Rumble. Why couldn't they have just done that? Have Brock Lesnar come out, beat Goldberg, and have maybe even Kevin Owens pin Goldberg 1, 2, 3. Because we know Goldberg is going to